we're in South Louisiana. Anyone who's got allergies, take this.
NAD is probably the biggest thing coming out right now on anti-aging. Normally, like when we're tight in here and you start getting that pressure and you're taking those joints and muscles through full range, this one feels almost addicting. So consistency over intensity. And then we're just going to roll up and down. It seems crazy, but when you go get massages and they're finding tightness in here, the first thing you need to do is start releasing this stuff. Kelly, thank you. You did the exercises last week and it helped a lot.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Tea with Dr. D. Afternoon edition. It's actually tea time this time, right? I hope y'all are doing well. I missed y'all so much. I missed seeing almost your pretty little faces in here, all your comments. I missed talking with everybody. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you made it through the storm okay and that all of your family is safe, number one. And I hope that all of your property and things are getting back in order. I've reached out and talked to many of you, and a lot of you have talked about the devastation that's happened in Lake Charles, and it's just such a sad state over there. And if there's any way that you can lend a hand, I definitely encourage everybody to reach out. I know that it doesn't seem like it's been getting as much information brought up, but there's a lot of devastation in the Lake Charles area. So our thoughts and prayers are with all of our friends out there, everybody who I've talked to in Lake Charles. If you need anything, please reach out to us, let us know. We're here to help any way we can. So please tell me hello, drop a line in here, say hi. We've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to try and kind of fill y'all in on a bunch of the stuff that we've been up to and all of the different things. If you have questions, don't forget, shoot us a text message. This is our text platform. We've been able to answer a bunch of questions from people just like from, hey, what supplement should I take for, healing? What should I take for muscle cramps? All of those little things. Look, it's not medical advice. It's just information, but it is a nice way to get a little bit of information while you're doing it. So if you have questions that you'd like to hear us cover, we're going to get back on track answering some of those things and trying to let everybody know kind of what's going on. For all of you who have listened and given feedback for the Pain and Performance podcast, I am immensely grateful. It means the world to me. The text messages that I've gotten from you about, the information in the Pain and Performance podcast, makes my day. It literally makes my day for y'all to get value out of these things that we're doing. Patrick, good afternoon, sir. I'm hoping you're doing well. And so all of the feedback that I've gotten from y'all about the Pain and Performance podcast, it really it means everything to me. So with that, if y'all have questions, let me know. We'll dive into a couple of questions real quick, and then we got some fun announcements and stuff for you. So I had gotten this question sent in. So what does the PEMF therapy do? I feel tingly whenever I do it, but I'm not real sure how it works. And we've gotten this question a lot in the clinic because PEMF therapy, if you're not familiar with it, is pulse electromagnetic field therapy. And we showed that on our little spa tour video, so to speak, and kind of showing some of the advanced technologies we use to heal. And a lot of people come and they use PEMF, which is a vascular therapy. It improves blood flow and oxygenation in all of your cells in your body, which is extremely important. So I'm going to try and show you because this makes a lot of sense, what happens whenever you actually get on there, whenever you actually get on to, so let me try this out. Okay, so when you get on a PEMF mat and you're laying there, it starts to send a signal into your body that is going to help to get all of those blood vessels to dilate, and it's actually going to improve the motion of your red blood cell itself. So whenever we start to lay on there, our body starts to receive that signal. And what that first video is just a little piece of the imaging of someone's blood vessel. And so after they've been on there for a minute, it starts to do this. You start to see those red blood cells flowing a bit better. You start to see they're not all bunching up. We actually have some decent motion in the vessels. So we're getting red blood cells flowing into our cells, which is really important to the healing process, but that's important to living. You've got to get oxygen to all of those cells. And so after a little while of being on there, this is what we're starting to see. Now this looks like a waterfall flowing through here, where before all those red blood cells were kind of sticking together and not quite getting through there. So you're not getting oxygen to your body. You're not getting blood flow into those deeper tissues. And your heart is having to work that much harder to actually get that blood flowing. So our blood pressure goes up. We start to have heart issues. We start to create more backup in here and start to create inflammatory processes in the blood vessels. None of that is good news. We've got to get better blood flow. And the PEMF is one of the most amazing technologies that I've seen that's been designed that actually improves blood flow. So when you lay on there, we do feel kind of tingly. You'll feel it kind of like, your digits, your hands kind of tingling all around, because you're getting blood flow in those areas. You're getting a lot of these changes in there. And that makes a huge difference to healing. When we look at people healing wounds and we see some of those things, that is a very, very big part of the body healing, is getting that oxygen in there. And we've got to be able to do that. So we've had some people, we've got some before and after. If you go to acadianapain.com/PEMF, then you'll see a lot. You'll see a lot of changes before and after in wounds. Look, some of these are a little bit graphic, so to speak, but they're really, really good for you to see what the benefits of PEMF can do. So I hope that helps, because it helps to see what it's actually doing whenever you're laying on the PEMF mat or you're getting PEMF therapy. I think everyone who has smoked should be doing that, just for the improvements. We've had a lot of questions like, hey, what do I do after I've had COVID? How do I make sure I don't have some of these long-term effects that people are speculating on? I don't think anybody knows. This would be the number one therapy that I would be doing. I'd be doing some breathing exercises. I'd be taking all the immune supplements we've talked about, but I would absolutely be jumping on and doing a round of PEMF therapy. It's cumulative. You need to do it over and over again. One session, not going to be the cure all, but over time, over 10 sessions, we see amazing, amazing changes in people. So hopefully that answers a couple of questions about kind of what that does and what it's doing. We've seen it help with back pain. We've seen it help with wounds. We've seen it help with nerve injuries immensely. So hopefully that can kind of help y'all out. I wanted to talk about something also that is very important, that's upcoming, and that we've been getting involved with, and y'all are going to hear a lot about here in the future. So I'm going to welcome my special guest today, Alyssa. How are you?
Hey, Dr. Hans, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
I am extremely excited. So tell everybody kind of what you do, and kind of what your role is in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, and how you kind of ended up there.
Sure. So hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa Colavecchio. I work for the American Cancer Society here in Lafayette. I am our community development manager, and I got to meet Dr. D here through our Real Men Wear Pink campaign, which he is participating in this year, and we are so beyond excited to have him. I heard his supportive crew is awesome, and so we hope we see you guys all coming out in the next couple months. But we got involved with Real Men Wear Pink here as it's an initiative of the American Cancer Society, and we're about to kick off our second campaign here in Acadiana. Last year was our first, so we got the guinea pigs out of the way, so you guys are coming into an established event. But it's actually one of the only initiatives that the American Cancer Society runs that's for a specific type of cancer. So for everybody out there that doesn't know, the American Cancer Society covers cancers A to Z, but our Real Men Wear Pink initiative focuses on breast cancer research and initiatives. And obviously the reason we do that in October is because that is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that kind of gives us a good platform to jump off of.
Yeah, I love the initiative and everything that it stands for, and just the amount of impact that they can have. One of the things that kind of stood out whenever we did our little intro call is the amount of studies that they're backing. And I know I don't believe they were all for breast cancer, but wasn't it like 164 different research studies that the American Cancer Society was funding last year?
And more. So the American Cancer Society is actually the second largest funder of cancer research next to the federal government. So if you took the government out of it, we'd be number 2 in the amount of research dollars that we can provide to our, not just our nation, but international as well. So we're actually really excited. We just got what we call a research her. So it's backing female scientists and their research for cancer. And we actually just got one to be able to fund in the New Orleans area. So it's really exciting for us. And go women, we're all about it, but we also like our men, and that's kind of how Real Men Wear Pink came about, is jumping on the competitiveness that we know men have, and sticking a good cause behind it. And we're all about awareness as well. So if we can touch 500 people with our message and we raise a little bit of money along the way, that's what it's all about for us.
Yeah, that was the big thing that kind of got me involved. Was, I mean, my family's been touched by cancer on a number of levels, breast cancer included. Colon cancer has been a big part of our family. And it's just one of those things that I saw this as a way for us to kind of raise money and talk about breast cancer and springboard that into cancer in general. I think there's been such great improvements in that over the last, probably 20 years in our ability to diagnose and treat cancers, but we're just getting started. The progress we can make as we continue to back these studies and start seeing the preventative side of things is extremely exciting. So that was where I got excited to get involved, is like, this is kind of a targeted thing, but I think it opens up the doors to so many other conversations.
I couldn't agree more. And you really hit it right on the head when you talked about preventative, because that's also something that we are all about here at ACS. So yes, we fund research, yes, we're here to help you and your family if you are diagnosed, even if you're, in your survivor part of your life, cancer is always kind of going to be a part of your story. So we're here to help, post that as well. But there's so much that you can be doing on the front end, and a lot of education that, we're trying to get out into the community to try and protect yourself. We actually had one of our real men last year, his wife, early detection, had a clean mammogram, and then a month later found a lump. So, she was doing everything right, but she also trusted her body. And I feel like that's a lot of what, you do with your work here in the community, is listening to your body. And if something's wrong, it's telling you, and your body better than anybody else. And if you feel like something's wrong, definitely go get it checked out. And that's kind of what we're here for. And it's so important to just take care of yourself and put yourself first. And it's okay to be selfish in that type of situation. And that's what we're here for. We're here for all stages of any type of your cancer journey.
So and this is kind of a real question, is there resources for people about some of those things through like the Acadiana area? Is there kind of, I don't want to say classes, but, kind of informational, talks or anything like that? And I know I've gotten this question quite a few times from patients that were dealing with this about support groups.
Yeah, so we actually have a program that is breast cancer support itself. It's called Reach to Recovery, and it's basically a peer-to-peer breast cancer group for women. So it's women who are survivors, women who are currently going through treatment, and are kind of on the ambassador side of things for ACS, but they're kind of acting as mentors to others who are maybe just recently diagnosed, have questions. Again, I'm sure you see it, as a caregiver, just people have so many questions and they don't think to answer them. And, it's always helpful to have somebody with you to kind of help, get all that down. But like most of the world right now, we have moved to a mostly virtual space, just given our environment and how everything's kind of going with the coronavirus. So a lot of these programs that we were able to offer at one point in person have now kind of moved to the digital space, but they are set up very similar to kind of what we're doing now, face to face, through the video. But it helps to just see someone on the other side to kind of help you guide you through that. our website, cancer.org, has a lot of amazing resources, even down to, books that are titled, I'm just diagnosed, what do I do next? Because who knows? I mean, nobody knows how they're going to react when they receive that diagnosis, and, where do you turn to? So cancer.org is the best spot. I know a couple of our breast centers around town do carry some actual physical, pamphlets of information that kind of share the similar sentiment to what I was just speaking about. But mostly everything has transitioned to online. And another cool thing that we have at ACS is a hotline number that is open 24/7, 365. So if you want to call on Christmas Eve while you're waiting for Santa Claus to come visit and you have a question you need answered, you will get hooked up right away with a live representative that'll be able to direct you to resources. But for us too, it's so important. That's why we rely on places like Miles Brett here in town, our local resources that sometimes, ACS, we might be a little too big to help on a super personal level, but that's why we are so lucky to have partners like Miles Brett in the community that we can refer to on a local level to get some help out.
How long have you been working in this area in your capacity, Alyssa?
Sure. So I actually, it'll be 2 years in November. So I moved down to Acadiana for my position. So I've been with ACS that whole time. So just about to wrap up year 2 and then full speed ahead into year 3. I know a lot of us can't wait for 2021 to get here.
Yeah, I've told people I'm not a big fan of this kind of idea that a lot of people do, oh, I can't wait for next month. They almost wish away time very easily. Like, oh, I can't wait till this weekend comes, because I'm like, no. Look, time passes fast enough. But with that said, I think 2020 can be the exception to that. Like, let's get through some of this stuff. So how for you, was this something that was always on your radar from an advocacy standpoint, that if you could get involved with it, you were going to? What drew you to get involved with ACS?
So I feel like with ACS, it's a national organization, so there's that brand recognition. I was in the nonprofit world prior to my move here. I worked for a hospital foundation back up in New Jersey, which is where I'm from originally. So I'm a little bit of a transplant here, but I feel like a local. So thank you all for being so welcoming and taking me in. But I had known about Relay for Life, which is probably the signature event of ACS and probably the most recognizable to those who aren't super involved. Like yourself, have been touched by cancer, within my family and friends. And I feel like it'd be hard now to find someone who hasn't been touched by that. And so when this opportunity kind of arose, I jumped on it, and I couldn't have asked to be part of a better organization with a better mission. Because again, cancer is the one thing, I hate to keep saying it, but it didn't stop during the pandemic. Folks were still receiving a diagnosis, and a lot of them alone, because people are not allowed in the clinical rooms right now. So you might be getting this devastating news and you're by yourself. And so it's really important for us to keep doing the work that we can, and, raising as much support and money and awareness as possible to help those people once they're on the other side of things. But when this opportunity arose, also at the time, to work for a national organization, I feel like that opportunity doesn't come by too often. So it was really, really cool for me to come down here, and I thank ACS for picking me and, let me kind of visit and kind of set roots in a different part of the world. And it's been really, really, really awesome. And, some days are hard, but then you have really, really great stories of survivorship and hope. And, that's kind of what makes it all keep going.
Absolutely. And I see we got a bunch of viewers jumping on. If y'all have any questions about the American Cancer Society or Real Men Wear Pink, drop them in the comments. We'll try and answer what we can. So I want to get into a little bit of kind of some of the things that we've got planned coming up. And you can give me your expert opinion. This is not, to all of my competitors watching, this is not like cheating. There's nothing going on here. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm really excited. So it's number one, and we've had a lot of people get excited. And Alyssa, you actually haven't heard this. We are hosting something called 24 in 24 at Acadiana Pain and Performance at my office. And what 24 in 24 is you run 24 miles in 24 hours. So every 4 hours you run 4 miles, and that's going to run October 16th and 17th. So we're going to start it on like a Friday evening, at 8 p.m. and we're going to run 4 miles. And then at midnight, we've got a group running 4 miles. And then at 4 a.m., 4 miles, and 8 a.m., 4 miles, and so on until we finish at 4 p.m. on the 16th. Amazing. And so what we're doing is for donations, teams can do that in like a team of 6, where each person just runs one leg, because surprise, I don't know why, but apparently people don't want to just spend 24 hours with me running. But we do have a few really dedicated individuals that are doing the whole 24 with me. And we're going to be running like recovery stuff in between the runs. So it's going to be a really kind of exciting day. That's going to be kind of our big event throughout this thing. And I will need the recovery. I am not a runner. And so training for this has been difficult. So for all of y'all watching, y'all are going to see me start like posting every day, because I need to be kept accountable, because I started realizing, I only have like 6 weeks until this happens.
Right, to become a marathon runner.
Not even basically. 6 weeks. So I think the time in between makes me think that I can do this easier, and that's not true at all. But so if y'all are interested in getting involved in that, drop us a comment. We're going to send out kind of the little flyers that we have. So what do you think about that, Alyssa? You like that? You gonna?
I love it. I also love it that you started at 8 p.m. so we're not out there sweating in the heat. That's important. But I think that's so creative, and that's what I love so much about the Real Men Wear Pink campaign is it's truly individual fundraising. So however, you are out there in the community and choosing to raise your money. I will say this is the most creative I've seen. So I can't wait to start blasting you all over social media and getting the word out and getting support for you, because that's really, really creative and amazing and healthy at the same time. So as you know, we talked about prevention earlier, and a healthy lifestyle is a huge part of that. So I love it. I think that's so fun. So October 16th and 17th, I'm gonna mark my calendar.
Mark it. We're gonna make an event out of it. So even if y'all don't want to run, I know some of the people who are watching this are like, that's awesome. I'm not coming to run 4 miles or 24 miles, depending on it. Come and support the people. That was one of the reasons that we did like the 8 p.m. We have, it's a perfect time. You get off of work, come, we're going to have like a, run through the ribbon to kind of start it off and kick it off. And then throughout the day, probably not at night, but throughout the day, we'll have some little events and stuff like that. And then, at the 5 p.m. mark, on the, 17th, we'll have another little finish line, and everybody kind of comes through having completed their 24 miles. I do have a few people that are like, I'm going to keep going, because if I'm running 24 miles, I might as well run 2 more and get my marathon in the day. I'm like, look, that's not on my list. I'm going to cross that finish line and be extremely happy with my 24 miles. But hey, to each their own. So please come out, support the people that are doing that. If you're interested in it, or if you just want to donate to the people and kind of sponsor some of the teams that are doing it, please look for that. I am going to throw some of the links in the comments here about how to donate. And I think on one of them, you can put comments on it, at least on the Facebook one for sure. You can kind of like write about your donation. Mm-hmm. Do that and write in there like 24 and 24 sponsor. And if we have somebody who reaches out and says, look, I really want to be involved, I need some sponsorship for some of this stuff. We're not putting any requirements on that. If you want to participate, we are going to kind of have people here helping. So we're saying, hey, look, please donate. We're going to kind of do the honor system on that a little bit. And everyone who wants to get involved, as long as you donate something, we're going to have the whole team out here running the 24 and 24. My office staff wants to do like a weekly kind of auction of one of the big packages that we have. So we have some 3-month packages where people come and they do like all the recovery stuff, cryotherapy. They do some fasting programs if appropriate for them to help kind of boost stem cells and get healthy. And like, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, this just leads into so many wonderful conversations about what little things can we start doing that will get us healthier, that will keep us out of my office, and just help us kind of lead an optimized life. And you know what, if you're doing those things on the front end, I think you have a power that you feel very confident that you can attack some of these challenges whenever they come up. And the resources you were talking about earlier are so important, because there's so many questions. There's so much stress and anxiety around cancer, and the more information we can get out there, the more ownership we feel like we have whenever we're going through that, I think the better.
I couldn't agree more. And, we're kind of between a rock and a hard place, because we live in an area that's full of temptation with the food that's here. It's so rich, and, the alcohol that's like always, right at our fingertips. And so, like I said, we live in temptation. And so it's really hard, when that's surrounding you all the time, to ignore all the time. And yes, it's okay to indulge, and yes, moderation is, preferred, but, we have Mardi Gras, and, nobody's counting calories during that. And so, we're in a unique area of the world where, that's kind of, on the negative side for us. Our state does have an abnormally high amount of, cancer cases, and a lot of that is due to the environment that we're in. But if you can help better your case by just taking care of yourself a little bit, certainly see some numbers change for us.
Yeah, I think I've seen more young people talk about strategies to, get healthier, keep inflammation down, keep some of these carcinogenic activities down. One of my patients yesterday was talking about how they started using their sous vide. I was explaining how I use a sous vide to cook deer meat, and they started using it because they read that, charring your food, you could take a very healthy thing, like, depending on your genes, like, cooking red meat for a lot of people, as long as you're doing it in moderation, can be a very healthy thing for us. But you can take something healthy and you start charring that, and that char can be a carcinogen for a lot of people. And so they were like, look, I do the sous vide. It cooks it absolutely perfectly. And I feel really good. It's still very tasty because it cooks it in its marinade. And I know that I'm taking that one little step to be healthier. So I think those little things that we talk about, the young people are noticing in this area. Hey, look, we are in a tough spot. We've had a genetic predisposition in a lot of cases to, inflammation and a lot of the things that lead to cancer. Our lifestyle absolutely does it. Our environment, we're down here at the bottom of the Mississippi for a long time. Those waterways were not kept up well. And all of those things combine to make this kind of a tough area. We've got to take the extra step down here that maybe you don't have to do if you, live on some fresh spring in Colorado. But
right. Into the control aspect of it, because the one thing you can't control is your diagnosis and, your treatment plan. And I think that's what makes it hard for a lot of people, is because how do I go about it if I can't control it? But if you control, what you're putting into your body, and you can control everything on the front end, and, going to get those preventative screenings. And I love that it's a younger group of people that are really taking charge of that, because that's where it starts. If we can hammer home that education right away, then, as you go through your life cycle and get a little older, and you really start needing those types of screenings, you're already prepared for it. Because a lot of times it's too late. We look about Chadwick Boseman, who was fighting cancer, lost his colon cancer battle at 43. And, colon cancer is very preventable if you're taking the right steps and you're getting screened. And yes, on one end, if you're going to get diagnosed with cancer, probably will, again, we have no say in who that touches and who it doesn't. But again, that's another cancer. Breast cancer is scary, but it's also very treatable if you catch it in time. And so if you're taking the proper precautions on the front end and controlling what you can, you might have better outcomes for yourself later down the road.
Yeah, I think those ones, they almost, to me, hurt a little more. And whenever we do know how preventable some of these are, and that's not every case. Of course, you can do everything right, and if the cards fall the wrong way, of course that happens. But breast cancer is definitely one of those that we talk about it a lot, and I think the education is going in the right direction. But to still hear of these deaths, really you're hearing of them. They're happening all the time, but you're hearing of them in media very commonly, and even healthy people who was it just that second too late? Was it just that little bit that if they had done a few things differently along the way? You hate to think like that, but at the same time, I do think that opens up some windows for us to kind of explore, hey, look, let's have this conversation. If we can make it very easy for you to understand the small things that you can do to check these things out, and then what that changes on, our outcomes, I think it's a wonderful thing for us to be kind of talking about and looking at. So I love what this means. If you were going to kind of leave the listeners with your kind of elevator pitch of the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, what would you tell them?
Oh, I love this. Okay. So I would start off by saying it is a fundraising competition and emphasis on fun, because we want to raise, again, as much resources and awareness as possible, but we also have some money to raise at the end of the day. But it is a fundraising competition, and we are truly piggybacking off of the fact that men are more competitive than sometimes women. Not all the time, but sometimes they are. But also, if the message is coming from that, a lot of times you might be a husband out there, a father, an uncle, a grandfather of women, obviously you might be that, and you would want to take care of them. So we have to kind of task our men with stepping up and coming to take care of us as well. And, men can also have breast cancer. It's rare, but it's out there, and there are plenty of men fighting that fight as well. And so we got to stand up for them too, and make sure that we're out here. And again, emphasis on the fun, because that's what it is. And I love your 24 and 24 that you're putting on. I can't wait to hear more about it and get involved any way I can. But the thing I want to leave everybody with is more somber than I think I wanted to get today, but given the ramifications of the coronavirus and, the current state of our healthcare system here in the U.S., we are at risk of having to reduce funding for cancer research for the first time in our entire 108-year history at ACS. So we're looking to say to somebody, we can't fund your research anymore because we don't have the money to back it up. And that could have been a cure or a step towards a cure. And so for us, we're just out here trying to hustle and, get as much support on board as possible. But every dollar counts, and we plan to fight for every dollar. So if that's all you can give right now, just know that it's going towards a cause, and a cause that could affect you, your family, but it's all for a good cause. So that's what I will leave everybody with, kind of on a somber note. But this campaign is so much fun. It's very social media oriented. So make sure you're following our page, Real Men Wear Pink of Acadiana on Facebook. That's where we'll have all our updates. And then obviously Dr. D's page here as well. But we have a lot of fun men that are raising some money for us. So it'll be a really good time.
Oh yeah. They've got a great crew out there. And I was telling a friend of mine this, I for everyone who sees this, like, I would love to see those ones that are like $3. Look, obviously, look, if you have it and you are willing to put up $1,000, and that I'm more than happy. Make sure you click my little button right there.
Right, we're not saying no.
But I think sometimes when we think like $3 is not enough, like I'm not going to click the button and go through the process. But if everyone who had that inkling to do it just clicked it and went ahead and said, like, look, whatever I'm not going to miss right now, that's not going to put me in a bind, I'm going to do that. We would be as a whole nation, and just in a very good place from a cancer position. And right now, I know everybody that this year has really kind of hit hard, and everybody's struggling, including a lot of these philanthropic organizations. And so even more importantly now, those people that are getting hit with these diagnoses, to be able to say, hey, look, I'm doing a little bit of my part to do some of this stuff. So, hey, look, no, I'm with Alyssa on this. No amount is too little to click that button and go through it, and just make sure that you're kind of doing your little part. That gives you that your little hit of joy, which that's also healthy. That's helpful. We need those things. So.
Right. Get those endorphins going.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa. I very much look forward to kind of kicking this off and seeing the whole thing kind of open up here in October. And we're going now. Everybody who's watching this, who sees this, I'm going to throw the links there. Click on it, drop a donation. If you are interested in doing or being a part of any of these things, drop us a line here, leave us a message, reach out to me. If it's the American Cancer Society, it's the main information stuff is cancer.org, correct?
Yes, so it'd be cancer.org, and that's kind of where you'll find everything that might need resource-wise. But also, I can have you throw out my email if you want in the comments or whatever, and feel free to reach out to me, and we'll get you headed into the right place.
And then where people can donate on the, I'll allow it on the main page. Is it just this without? Can you see the screen? I don't know how these things.
I can, work. Yeah. So the main
is it
event,
this without mine? Is it like acsevents.org?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And if not, Real Men Wear Pink, acs.org /Acadiana LA. We'll have the main website with all our candidates, but your picture's there so they can just click on you and they can donate directly to your campaign through your personal profile.
Beautiful. So we'll throw a few links here in the comments, everybody. So Alyssa, thank you so much. I think that was a really good kind of piece of information for everybody to understand what's going on and make some sense of all the craziness that will be coming at least from my end. And I'm sure a lot of the other fundraisers over the next 6 weeks or so.
Oh yeah, well, this was awesome. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see your pink. I can't wait to see the running. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I really appreciate it. And
I will say, I did realize how little pink I own going on this. I've been like going on a pink shopping spree. So if y'all see me walking around town with some pink, let me know. Hey, that's a nice new shirt because it's probably new.
Oh man, that is too funny. Well, I'm really excited. I think you're doing an amazing job, and obviously what you're doing for our community is really, really awesome. So we're excited for you, and we can't wait to cheer you on.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Alyssa. Everybody, thank you. Check out the links. That's all I got for you today. That's too good stuff. We're going to end it there. Thanks, Alyssa.
No problem. Bye. Thank you. Bye.